Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our ICFS Modernization External User Demo. Today, we're going to do the demo for International Section 214 Authorizations. And my name is Jane, and I'm going to give our first introduction word to Kathleen Campbell, who is a system owner.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to preview our new ICFS. I am the current system owner, and I will be retiring at the end of August. And Adrian McNeil, who many of you probably know, it will be taking over. So September sees her as the ICFS system owner, and me happily retiring. The recording that's going to happen now. We're going to record this session. I'm sorry, no. Anyway, we're going to record this session and it will be available on FCC's YouTube channel at some point in the near future. And there'll be links to this recording on the page where you registered, as well as on the helpful links in the new ICFS for future use if you want to share it with colleagues or review it yourself. We're not having conversational question and answer. We are going to respond to anything you type in chat. We'll answer to the best of our abilities today. Otherwise, we'll find a way to get an answer and get it to you after the meeting. You can also send questions to icfsdemo@fcc.gov, which is the email you use to register, and we'll answer after that. So back to you, Jane.
Thank you, Kathleen. Okay. For our demonstration agenda, we have a statement about recording, questions, chat registrations with FCC CORES, overview, user demo, questions, and comments. Statement on the recording. This user demonstration will be recorded for the future training usage. By attending, you agree to be recorded. If you prefer not to ask a question during the Q&A period, you may make use of the meeting chat. For questions during the meeting, please hold on your questions until the question and answer portion of the meeting so that we can get through all of the meeting content. You are free to utilize the meeting chat and ask questions at any time. Additionally, you may email your questions after the meeting to icfsdemo@fcc.gov. Our overview is the International Communications Filing System, ICFS, is the official electronic licensing and filing system for the Federal Communication Commission's Space Bureau and Office of International Affairs. Each ICFS subsystem has multiple filings requests, and each filing request type requires one or more completed forms. While there are many common steps for filing requests, there are also filing versions based on the service category, request type, and FCC filing requirements. Today, we will cover FCC application for International Section 214 authorizations, ITC 214. That will include the following. New authorization is ITC 214 form, also amendment application, modification of authorization, ITC mod, waiver, request for special temporary authority, ITC STA, foreign carrier notification, ITC FCN, Dominion Carrier Quarterly Report, which is ITC RPT, and also transfer of control, assignment of authorization, and discontinuance of service. Before we start our demo portion, I also would like to introduce you to how to register with the FCC. ICFS users must be registered with the FCC and have an FCC username, password, and FCC registration number, FRN, to log in the system. Use the following steps to register with FCC. You will enter the following link and in your browser, then you open the FCC CORES registration. On FCC CORES registration, there will be all instructions. And then you will select register. to open an FCC account and follow the instructions on the course. Also, we will provide you the external user guide that will have more detailed steps. And additional information about registering with FCC can be found on the FCC registration frequently asked questions page. Our first part of the demo will include accessing the ICFS quick search page, also navigating your ICFS landing page, search bar and advanced search, helpful links, about ICFS button, and then learn more about ICFS, and also my inbox. I will pull the first part. After you register with CORES and log into FCC, this will be the landing page. And on the top right corner, you will see your first name and last name. By clicking on this, you can see your profile. You can add some more information for your profile, also upload the picture. And as well, if you need to log out, you can also go where you type or click on your name, and this will be log out. This is the button about ICFS. No matter where you are during your process, when you click on about ICFS, you will be brought to the landing page. Here we also have recents. By clicking on this, basically it's showing that we have those recent public notice, then recent filings. That's where you can find all the recent filings, recent actions, and same recent pleading and comments. This is the search bar where you can do a quick search by the file numbers, call sign, FRN, pleading and comments, also public notice, and company name. We can perform a search, for example, by the file number. Like, for example, if I click on add the file number, it will bring me all the file numbers. Here we have two versions. We can go back to the landing page. Also, we can do the search by the call sign ID. Yeah, and this is how we can find the call sign. By clicking on the advanced search, we'll get to the advanced search page, and here you can do the search by the nature of application, which is you can select the service, application state, or application type. For example, if you want to find like ITCs, all current ITCs, click here, and I will be presented by all current ITCs. Or if, for example, I select also ITCs and I just want to see all the amendments, I can click here, and I will be presented by all the amendments as well. Also here, you can do the advanced search by phone number, call sign, submission ID, contact name, applicant FRN, data type. Also on our landing page, you can find the helpful links, and then you can go to you can see the external reports here. So you have ISPCs and TIN Telecom. Or you can also click on the frequently asked questions, and it will get you to the helpful links. On the helpful links, you can find the FCC home link, Also the Commission Registration System CORES FRN information, FCC fees information, web policies, privacy statements. This is the 3-letter broadcast site. It's how to create a call sign for IHF. And we have also the ICFS helpline information here. And if you also need some information like a stop list, you can also get to this page. And for example, if you want to see the telecommunication analysis division, you can get through the helpful links. If you forgot your password as well, to reset your password, you will go to the helpful link. Also, we have the My Inbox. Here is basically the communication between the FCC staff. If you file the application and they have some questions, they can communicate to you through the My Inbox. Indication that you have new messages will be like a red dot here with a number of how many messages you have. Also, if the application was like accepted or granted, also those statuses will be communicated through the My Inbox. I'll pause here if anyone has any questions. Okay. For our second part of the demo, we will go through the draft and submit authorization application, ITC 214 and transfer control. Also, how to start new application, how to submit application as a draft, what the My Filings tab is about, and then some modification, amendment of license application. I'll also show you the waiver forms, then require STA, FCN, RPT, ITC, DSC, and then LPN. Also, we will cover the fee payment, action step, and pleading and comment step. To start new application, you will click on the Start New Application, and for international telecommunications, you will go a little down and then to the right, and you can locate international section 214. Here we have the new authorization, amendment, modification, waiver, STA, FCN, and other applications for that. A lot of applications, they actually like share a lot of common sections, and we can start, for example, with, let's start with the reports. All ICFS form has the instructions as well. To see the instructions how to fill out the form, you can click here, and you will be presented with the instructions of the specific form what you would like to fill out. Also, to print the form, you can print the form when it's empty or when you fill out the form. You can click here, and you will be presented by the PDF. All your information also will be filled out in these PDFs. You can save it as a PDF or you can print it. Also, all ICFS form has the applicant information, which has the FRN. All this information comes from CORES. And all those FRNs belong to the basically to the authenticated user. And contact information, you can fill out the in contact information, or you can just check here if the contact information is exactly the same as applicant. Also, we have the all forms have a brief application description field where you can fill out what form you're filling out, And then when you go to My Filings, it's easier to find the form as well. Also, some questions have a sub-questions or like a drop-down answers as well as the pre-populated list. On the forms, you will see this question mark. It's actually a helpful link, which just takes you to CFR rules. If you have any like questions regarding the rules, you can just click here as well and see. And then here we have a couple of questions which is formed in MRVS table. And this is how you, if you would like to add the row, you will click on the add. You have a drop down of the countries. If you would like to remove this row, you will click on the remove the row, just the X sign. If you would like to edit, you can click on the pencil, and then it will bring you back to the same, and you can just edit here. To add new row, you also will click on the add. This form doesn't have application fees, but I will show you another form, but also all forms have their, majority of the form have the as well waiver section, which is if you click yes, you will need to provide some information and do the attachment here. You can do attachment on the question level or in the attachments and confidential treatment of attachments as well. Attachments and confidential treatment of attachment is another section that common for all forms throughout the system. Basically, if you click yes, you will have some information here, and as well, if you do the attachment. To make this attachment confidential, you will need to click on the checkbox, and system will ask you to add 2 more attachments. Public redacted version, and then also the public version of confidential request and supporting statement. Then general certification statements is also goes throughout the system. Basically, before you submit the form, you will need to do the checkbox here and then signature block. Here we have the what the information is required on the form, and if you missed anything, this is the system will show you what field and what information you missed. Okay. And then to save the form as a draft, you will click on the Save as a Draft. And to locate this form, you will go to My Filings. And here in My Filings, you will see all your forms that are in draft status here. And pending payment goes below. We have pending review and pending confirmation, current, and closed archive. Okay. And then this is the format we just submitted as a draft. And then here we got back to the form, and now we can submit it. To submit the form, you will click on Review to submit. Okay. And then submit. And then you will be presented with confirmation screen. Okay. This is how you submit the main form. And then if you want to do the amendment, you will go to ITC amendment. Select the form what you just submitted. If you need to do any changes, all amendment forms have a file number the form what you are amending. And here it will be the statement that the applicant must attach a narrative statement describing the changes to the application being made in the amendment. You go to the checkbox. Also, the brief application description will be depopulated. Majority information what you entered on your form, it gets populated to the amendment, except the brief application description and then general statement and signature, of course. Same thing. And that's how you can submit the amendment. Okay, this is the message that requires the attachment because of this checkbox as amendment. Needs another attachment. Okay, also the confirmation screen. And then for ITC modification, you will go to modify of authorization. Here you will be presented with the list of the current authorizations. For example, this RPT I did submit it today prior our call. And here it's similar statement to amendment, then brief description. Also, the information gets populated here. We won't miss the attachments this time. We can, for other forms, they can go through the similar workflow, and then we can just take a look as well at the waiver. I won't fill out this time, just we can just take a look there, how the waiver looks as well. Similar structure. Here we have the application fees. We have the yes or no, and then if you need to pick other exemption, this is where you can fill it out. I can pause here for a little bit before we go to other forms, if there are any questions.
There were just two, and I answered them in the chat. The one you might want to be aware of, Jane, is that the 6310 report that you showed, there was no filing fee, right? But but once it was filed, it was under the pending filing fee, pending payment section. So it's probably a defect that we need to be correct. I'm sending an email about it now, but I just want to let you know. It should go right to pending review and not pending payment if it doesn't have a fee.
Perfect. Thank you. I noted this.
Right. And then the other question that came in earlier that I answered was the brief description fields, if they would show up on the forms for the public to see. And the answer to that is yes. So if you print the form, review the form, when you're doing searches, all of the fields that are filled out on the form show up. And in some cases, blank ones do too. It is the form that comes out, and that question is on. That's it.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now we can, for ITC 214 form, authorization. Just want to show you here 2 moments. Like it's similar to other forms what we just saw. It has the applicant information, contact information, but also on top of that, it has the additional contact information, where you will fill out the contact for execution of law request or alternate contact of execution of law request. Same with the agent for legal services of process and an alternative agent for legal service of process. Also here, it has the service types and same as the brief application description. It has a related filings here as well. A lot of like forms, stat forms have also the related filing sections, basically where you can enter the ICFS form number or ULS docket number. As you can see, you can add multiple here. And here we can check boxes. Well, I want to show you here. We have a question. Are there additional applicants for overseas cable constructions? This is how the supplement A gets created as well. That will be attached to ITC form. As we can see that I'm logged in as a main applicant, ICFS Portal Tester 1 or 10. And if I want to add any additional applicants, there where I go to the question 6E3 and then select that it's multiple applicants. You will be presented by MRVS table where you can enter FRN of the additional applicant. But as a main applicant, you won't be able to submit or file, or you will be able to submit, but not file the additional supplement A. What will you do? You will save this form as a draft. We can do here B214. Save this form of the draft. And then I will need to log in as additional applicant. We'll do it here. Oh, I logged in. You can see that I log in as the other applicant. And to locate that application and fill out the supplement A, I will go to my filings. And here I will have this application as a draft. And I can scroll down. And this button will be unlocked for me. And I can go to supplement A. And fill out. It's similar to ITC 214 form. I can fill out this form, supplement A. And then after filling out this form, I will save it. And then I can go back to the main. I saved it as a draft for now. And then here, this is where this form will be. And then the main applicant can also pull it from the drop-down menu and then submit the form as well. There can be multiple supplement A's. It depends on how many reference also will be added here. Okay, I'll come back as the main applicant. I can pause here for a little bit if there are more questions.
No more questions. I haven't seen any pop up.
Okay. Then another form that we have for ITC 214 is ITC transfer control and assignment form. ITC TCHG, basically ITC transfer control and assignment, has also similar their applicant information, but it's kind of more than basically it's authorization holder information, then contact information for authorization holder. And it has the signer information and contact information for a signer and assignee information or transferee and assignee transferee contact information. On top of that, it also has as ITC 214 form, it has additional context information. And here it's if there is only execution lawful request, a contact for execution lawful request, you fill out here. But if there is no contact has been designated for alternate contact for execution of law request, then you can just click on this. Fields will be grayed out. Same with agent for legal services. Here is another piece for transfer control and assignment. To select if you're filing the substantive assignment authorization, you will do this 2 radio buttons. If it's a transfer control of substantive, then those radio buttons, and it's exactly the same for pro forma. And set of questions, of course, it's get a little changed based on the selection what you choose. Here we also have the foreign ownership information all captured here as well in this form. We have the fees, waiver, attachment, as well that attachments, confidential treatment of attachment section. And also this form has not just general certification statements, but as well the national security and law enforcement certification statement. And another thing on this form that we have that the signatures, you can see that it's blocked. Basically, it depends on what FRN get chosen in the authorization holder information. That person can only sign this form. If it's a transfer signature as well, the FRN that assigned to transferor, basically those person can sign that form. And it works similar way as supplement A. Basically, the person who is filling out the form, but if that person is not signing the form, he will save this form as a draft, and then other person can log back in, locate the form in my filings, and sign that form. This is what we have regarding the transfer control of ITC. If there, Catherine, there are no more questions on that piece?
Somebody just came up with, where is the table to provide detailed ownership information in the form?
Yeah, and we have here ownership information. It has sub questions. Basically, if you click here, yes, and depends on your answer, we have this table. Okay, some also the foreign carrying affiliation as well. We need to provide some more information here, and then foreign ownership information. Oh, here.
This kind of thing happens in a lot of the forms. What pops up that you can see depends on the answer you give. Okay, Renee, that's a question for the staff in the telecommunications and analysis division. I don't have an answer for that right now, so we'll have to go back to her on that one. She's asking about the new requirements to certify the questions have been sent and whether the still will enter. So the next question, Jane, is to show how the ownership will go in. So could you add an ownership thing?
Basically, this is the MRVS table. To open this, you will click on Add. Here you can name, like address, ship. If it's the dual citizenship, you can select here as well. You can select multiple. Then principal business of the interest holder. Here. And as well to add new row that provides some more information, you will click on Add. And that's how you will fill it out. Yeah. Did it answer to the question?
Well, you showed it, so that's the, that should be the answer to the question. The next one that came up had to do with the standard questions. And I'm sending an email to that team to ask them if they can answer it before this is over. Otherwise, we'll get back to you on that question.
Okay, Kathleen. And here also on ICFS portal, I would like to show you that we have action tab as well. If you would like to register a new FRN course, and then you can click on here as well. That if you would like to pay filing fees, this is where you go. Here you can select the application like that, and then you can go to course, and then there will be all the instructions how to perform the filing and how to pay for the application. And then here we have also the submit annual report, file confidential report, and those actions like consummate, surrender, withdraw, and delete. These four actions work similar. I can select surrender. And then you here, and then you can attach the file. And then done. And then surrender the application. Similar way as the withdraw and delete. And then you will be presented by the confirmation screen. Another piece what I would like to show you is pleading and comments. You can find the instructions for pleading and comments as well here. And if you would like to print or save the pleading and comments that you fill out as well, you can click on the print the form and then save it. Here we have the first question, which is determine your answer yes or no is what pleading type will be here. Basically, if you answer yes to the question, there are some more pleading types you can find. And if you don't know, then drop down is a little less. Do the letter. Fill out the required information. And then you can select the file number that you're filing. Also, you can select multiple file numbers here. I want to find the you can just type what subsystem you are looking for and select that file number. Also, Pleading and Comments has as well the confidential treatment of attachment section. And review to submit. And then you will be presented by the confirmation screen. Is there some more questions? Okay. Then I want to thank you for your time that you came to this demo. And thank you so much. And have wonderful the rest of your day.
Right. For the outstanding questions that I said I've reached out, we'll get back to you by email for that, for the answers to those. Because I didn't get a quick response unless David Kretsch is on and would like to chime in. Or Karen Johnson. If either of you know the answers to these questions. Adrian will have to unmute you.
This is Karen. I do not. I will have to confer with David.
Okay.
David just left, so.
Okay. Well, I sent the email and we'll get back to you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Because I don't know the answer. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming. Have a great afternoon. When will the recording be posted online? The recording will be posted, I'm guessing within the next 2 weeks. I don't have an exact date. It goes through some cleanup and fixing, and it's going to be closed captioned, and it'll be posted on FCC YouTube channel first. I guess we'll be putting out a public notice or something that says that the recordings are now available. And they'll be available into the future too, because we'll have the links on the ICFS helpful links section of the homepage.